Hey guys, if you're new to my channel, my name is Anna and today I'm going to be going over my whole first marathon experience. So I ran the Chicago 2023 marathon. It's definitely long overdue. I've been wanting to make this video for a while now because I made one for my first half marathon. And I just think it would be really helpful for anyone that is going through a marathon training for the first time, marathon, whatever. And I can help any way possible. Definitely leave a comment asking any questions. If you want to reach out to me on my Instagram, ask me any questions, feel free. I'm happy to help anyone if they're, scared or whatever, because it's a very big and exciting and scary thing. But yeah, anyways, let's just get into it. Okay, so starting off kind of with just my running experience. So I started running a little bit during COVID, kind of fell off of it. And then 2022, I saw my brother run the Chicago Marathon. I was so amazed at everybody running it. It was just such an emotional experience. I'm like, oh my God, I want to do this. I don't know when I will, but I know I'm going to. And so I signed up for a 10K. I just looked up a little program online, wrote it out in my notes, and I stuck to it. And it was great. It was a great run. I, didn't really know what I was doing, you know what I mean? I just kind of did all my runs easy, got it done, was super proud of myself, and then my brother had convinced me to do a half marathon, and I was like, okay, if I can do a 10K, I can do it. I know I can do it. It's gonna be hard, but I know I can do it. And so trained for that using the Run with Hal app, which I liked. It kind of gave me a more structured schedule. I ran 3 times a week. The train is here, so we'll give it a sec. Okay, it's quieter now. So I ran 3 times a week. I just ran all my runs easy. Again, didn't really know what I was doing. Kind of started to fuel on my longer runs. I will say you should definitely fuel for anything more than an hour. For me now, I typically like to fuel for 10 or more miles. Sometimes I'll do it at mile 8 miles, but totally up to you and your preference. And I love to fuel every 3 miles. That's kind of my sweet spot. But anyways, so did the half, and then I feel like the half is where I really started to fall in love with running, and it became sort of my therapy. And I just knew it was something I was becoming super passionate about. And so I graduated college and I didn't have a job lined up, so I was at home and I was just going through it, mentally not in a good place. I went through a lot of loss, and I was I just need something to distract myself. And I was you know what, screw it. I know I don't have a lot of running experience, but I'm gonna sign up for the marathon. I've got the whole summer, I've got nothing else to do. While I'm, trying to search for a job, whatever, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna sign up. This is the year, I'm doing it. So I signed up through a charity and raised money to run the Chicago Marathon, and I did it, woohoo. So yeah, if you're new to running and you're I don't have years of experience, maybe one day, just do it, full send, do it. If you can make it work in your schedule, it's a lot, don't get me wrong. I'm even this year, I will have to, do it with working full time. And I'm so thankful that I was able to do it at the time I did, where I kind of just had that to focus on, for it being my first time, running those scary distances. But it's definitely absolutely possible with a full-time job. You know what I mean? You gotta still have a life, and it's okay if you don't stick to your training plan 100%, but you definitely will have to make some sacrifices. And I will say, running a marathon, it's a lot up here. It's hard, obviously it's not easier. Everybody would be doing it. So it's if you really want to do it, you can commit to it, sign up, do it. It doesn't matter how much experience you have. I would say definitely try to, be able to do a 5K, 10K comfortably, get to that kind of point, and then just give yourself enough time to really get a thorough training plan where you can get to those longer distances. But it's absolutely possible. You can do it. You can do it. And it'll change your life. I swear, it'll change your life. And so anyways, yeah, that's my running experience. So let's go over kind of training and what I did to train for my marathon. So first, starting out, I was killing it. I was thriving. I was doing 2 speed runs a week. I was doing a bunch of easy runs. I was doing my long runs. I was strength training. I felt so good. And that lasted from like beginning to half of my training block. So I started really kind of training in June all the way up to October, and I was doing good. I was doing great. It was definitely a lot harder for me to adapt to the heat. This was my first time ever running in the summer, and I would get up super early to try to beat the heat, but it was still very hot, very uncomfortable. It definitely slowed me down on a lot of my runs, and it was more, I would say, like exhausting. I'm definitely like a fall, spring, even winter running gal. I love the cold weather, and I would much rather prefer to run in the cold. Definitely not the snow. I've tried to run in the snow a little bit over this winter, and I'm like, it's pretty once, you know what I mean? But then it's like, okay, the snow can go. I'm ready for like 50s, 60s. Oh, that's the beautiful, perfect running weather. But anyways, running in the heat, really, really hard to adjust to at first. But, you know, you gotta do it. So I would just wake up super early, like 4 a.m., start running in the dark, and then just try to get done as soon as possible, because the longer runs obviously took me a lot longer. First time I'm doing them, you know what I mean? I feel like kind of getting to that half, like I did a half, and I felt like that made me pretty confident of, okay, I can do 14 miles, I can do 16 miles. Like once you start slowly completing these longer runs, you become a lot more confident with being able to do it. They're definitely not easy by any means though. Like I would say mid to end training, I was only running 3 times a week. All my runs were easy at a slow pace. So on like Monday, I would try to do 8 to 10 miles. And then sometime during the week, I would try to do maybe 4 to 5 miles. And then I would have my long run on Saturdays. And so I tried to strength train here and there when I could, but my body was just so exhausted that it was very hard to kind of keep up with anything. So I just did what I could. I will say, like, honestly, I feel like the hardest part is when you get to the kind of like the 15-mile range and you're like, okay, I gotta keep going. Like I gotta get to 20, like, and it's just, you gotta kind of slowly chug to finish. It's a lot of it's mental. You wanna stop, obviously, but you just gotta keep going. And I feel like pushing past those mental blocks helps make you so much stronger. And because your mind gives up so much quicker than your body does. Like your mind will be like, okay, time to stop, you know, anytime you get like uncomfortable or anything. And something I'm still trying to work on, like it's so hard to push past those mental blocks of I should stop, I should slow down, whatever it may be. It's so hard to push past, but it's like once you do, and once you accomplish distance or speed or whatever, it's like, wow, like I pushed through, I did that, I can do anything. You know what I mean? It just makes it so much more possible. And so, yeah, that's kind of like my training. I will say I did one 20-miler and one 22-miler. So I did 20 about 2 months before, and then I gave it kind of like a month break. Did my 22-miler, and then I gave like a month before my marathon. And so a lot of people would recommend just running for 3 hours, but I wanted to see the mileage, and it took me, for my 22-miler, I think it took me 5 hours, which that's a long time on your feet. It's a long time to recover from that. But I personally wanted to see the mileage. I was like, that's gonna help me get confident for race day and know that I can really do it. So kind of up to you what you wanna do. I also did use the Run with Hal app, but towards the end, I knew what to do. You know what I mean? I knew what runs I had to run. So I kind of just did my own thing a little bit. But yeah, I loved getting to that 22-mile point. I was like, okay, I can do this. I was pretty confident on race day, but very nervous. So obviously for any race, it's very scary. It's very intimidating. For a marathon, it freaked me out. I'm like, this is a long time to be running. And so the night before, I tried to eat as much as I could, pasta, bread, all that good stuff. And then in the morning, I forced an oatmeal, banana, Gatorade, and water down. Obviously very hard, but you just gotta do it. You need food before a run. Like some people run fasted, and I'm like, I don't know how you do that. Like I would feel so nauseous and sick. I definitely am someone who needs to eat and eat a lot before a run. And so I got there super nervous, but I met a bunch of great girls. So we kind of talked and stuff, and I started with one of them. And it was just such an unreal experience. Like, getting to run a major is so awesome, and I'm so grateful for the crowd. You know, they're all cheering, especially at the end, like, you can do this, only a few more, like, you gotta keep going. Like, that's what helped push me and get me to that finish line. You know what I mean? Like, I love just all the support. I hated the signs where it's like only 13 more miles to go. I'm like, I don't want to think about that. Like, please don't. I was like, please don't. But it's just unreal. The crowd, the energy, it's insane. And I am so excited to do it again. I'm like, I'm ready to be back. But I will say my first half went great. And then I would say from 14 to 18, that was pretty hard. 18 to 26 was the hardest thing I've ever done to try to get through. I fueled with candy, which I feel like that was kind of my mistake. I did fuel with candy on my long runs. Like, you always got to test out your fuel before you run. And it was always fine, but I'm like, it just wasn't enough. I definitely needed gels or something, but I have such a sensitive stomach, and I just couldn't figure out like what would work with me. Now I love using the BPN Go gels. Those came out after the marathon. They're new. They're so good. And I'm definitely going to continue to use them for future races and for the Chicago Marathon this year. But yeah, just something to keep in mind, like, definitely always practice fueling before and make sure you're fueling enough. I think that's definitely what kind of made me hit that wall, because I hit it hard. I hit the wall hard. Nothing prepares you for those last 6 miles. I was in so much pain, especially my knees. I had to stop a few times to kind of shake them out. They just kept like locking up, and like I would like be like, whoa, like it was just so painful. But I was getting to that finish line. I'm like, nothing is gonna stop me. I'm getting to that finish line. And I was able to see my family like once or twice. They kept getting on like the wrong side, or like I missed them or whatever. But seeing them was what kept me going, you know what I mean? And, you know, they were texting me and everything, and it's just having like a huge support system like that. It's just so amazing. So if your friends and family can come support you, as they should, like, what? A marathon? Are you kidding? This is a huge accomplishment. So if they can come out and support, that's amazing, because it really does help, especially like if they have like a certain mile point. I think I saw them at like mile 18 or something, or mile 20. That's when I really needed them. You know what I mean? That's when I needed them. And it's like, I saw them and I'm like, okay, now I know I can do this. I gotta just keep chugging. Like, I think I texted my brother. I was like, I just gotta keep chugging to finish. Like, this is all I can do. Like, I obviously didn't have a goal time either. I ended up finishing in 4 hours and 48 minutes, which, so proud of that. I got sub 5. And definitely, I definitely really wanted sub 4, obviously, but I didn't set a goal. I was like, all I want to do is finish. And I, at one point, had seen like the sub 4 pacer, and I was like, okay, like maybe I could try to keep up with him. They were gone. They were gone so quick, and I got so humbled. I was like, oh, okay, like definitely not gonna get that. That's fine, whatever. But just like crossing that finish line, I crossed it with a smile on my face. I definitely, all of my marathon pictures, I just look miserable. Like, I look like I'm in so much pain, and I was like, gosh darn it. Like, I wanted to get a cute little race photo. But definitely looking back at those pictures, I'll always remember, like, you pushed yourself and did something you never thought possible. How freaking amazing is that? Like, getting that medal, and I just, after, I don't know, I just like something clicked, and I was like, wow, this is absolutely unreal. I am so freaking proud of myself. It was just such an emotional day, and like seeing everyone else who ran it accomplish that too, like it's just so crazy and so fun. I obviously felt so bad after. Like, I felt like I was hungover and had the flu at the same time. Very, very unwell. But then the next day I was like, fine. And I'm just so excited. I'm going to do it again this year. I will also be doing charity again. I tried to do the lottery, did not get in that way. So no worries. We'll raise money for a good cause and run it. And I'm so excited. I'm going to really try to get sub 4 for sure. And definitely something I really want to try to do differently is fuel differently for sure. for sure. I really want to try to avoid hit that wall because that was hard. And I'm definitely scared. I'm so scared to start training up again. It's long, crazy distances, but I'm also so excited. And definitely too, I really want to try to do 2 speed runs a week and try to hold that as long as possible. Maybe having to throw in some more easy runs, I don't know, but also too, strength training. So I am someone who came as a lifter, so I would try to do my normal lifts with running. That's not gonna cut it. Your legs are gonna be exhausted, they're gonna be sore tired. So I feel like you kind of have to, you know, make strength training sessions geared towards running, and it took me a little bit to figure that out. But now I'm definitely getting a better understanding. I'm really starting to train like an athlete, I guess, and doing different workouts like that. I've really loved it. I don't really know how to structure it that well. I'm kind of still trying to figure it out, still trying to learn more, but I'm really excited. I really love doing like an athlete style workout and like focusing on like performance and power movements and all that stuff. I just think it's so beneficial for running and like doing like one leg movements, mobility stuff, all of that. And I love it so much more. I feel like I just kind of got burnt out with lifts, like regular lifts, you know what I mean? And I will say too, I now use the Runna app for training. I feel like I've learned a lot with my strength training sessions and really how I need to push myself, how I need to structure it. And I like how it's guided too, so it always tells me to speed up, which I'm like, if you tell me to speed up one more time, like I swear. But speed runs are hard, you know what I mean? But you just gotta get through it. And I always feel so good after. Sometimes it's just like getting me to do it. I'm like, oh my gosh. But I love how it's guided. It tells you, so you don't have to like constantly look at your watch, like, am I going at this pace? Like, yeah. And then, so for Runna, you do pay $100 a year. I do have a 2-week free code. I will leave the link in the description, and the code is Anna2weeks. If you want to get 2 weeks free, try it out, see if you like it. But there's so many free programs out there as well. Run with Hal, great app that's free, or just like a program online you can find. But I will say, like, if you definitely want to like learn how to really structure a run and stuff like that, I think Runna is a great guide. And if you're definitely working to get faster, Runna's the app for you. Runna is the app for you. I've seen so much progress already, and it just makes me so excited. Because obviously wanting to do sub 4, I gotta work really hard. I gotta really, really work hard to try to get that. And even if I don't get it this year, A-okay. Literally just trying to finish as well. This one, it's a very scary distance, and I feel like I could do a marathon 10 times and still be scared of the distance. Okay, this is what I was gonna say. So for the marathon too, I used an Apple Watch and it died. It died at mile 25, I think. So now I have a Garmin, and I'm really excited to use it because it's not gonna die on me for this next marathon. I'm like, if I could have finished like a few minutes earlier, I could have gotten on my watch, but it's fine. I'm like, I don't have the workout on my phone, it's fine. But yeah, something to keep in mind too, Apple Watches normally, it doesn't hold up. Sometimes it will, I don't know. I obviously really love my Apple Watch, but now having a Garmin, I love it. It tracks my sleep, it's so fun. And I'm obsessed with it. It also looks cool. You know what I mean? Like, it's a good watch that you could wear out. You know? I don't know. That's just my opinion. But yeah, anyways, like I said, if you have any questions about marathon training, anything, please comment. Message me on Instagram. I'd love to help in any way that I can. Because I know it's scary, but if you're thinking about it, just sign up, do it. You won't regret it. And once you cross that finish line, it'll all be worth it. I promise you, it is the most incredible thing you can do. And yeah, anyways, that is the video. Thank you so much for watching.